Hi, this is Eden Sunshine, founder of the Level 7 system. I'd like to welcome you back to this series on implementing Level 7 within your organization. Today's video is entitled The Principle of Creating Replication. Now, I'm sure by now you've probably heard a little bit about systems when it comes to your business. I'm sure by now you've heard a little bit about the talk of developing systems and so on. The principle of creating replication, which is one of the core principles of Level 7 process, specifically asks the question, do we have a systems-driven environment that's consistent and predictable in the way that we operate? Now understand that the principle of creating replication is not so much about the systems as much as it is creating a systems-driven environment or supporting the systems development cycle. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what the systems development cycle is, because one thing we need to understand when it comes to developing systems in a business is actually several things. Number one, the systems that you're developing in your business are simply a tool. Remember we talked about the principle of defining results, which is about having a very specific definable result and outcome that we want to produce. Well, a system is simply a tool that helps us produce a specific result. It's a tool that enables employees and team members and managers and even owners and leaders within an organization to be more effective at producing the result that they're called to do. The systems are simply a tool for the business to be more consistent and predictable in producing the results. The system is simply a process or a tool that enables a business to replicate or scale up the results that it's currently producing with predictability and consistency and high performance. So this principle of creating replication is simply about creating an environment where your business becomes systems driven. So what exactly is the system development cycle? Well, the system development cycle is made up of three elements. First element is what we call your initial documentation or your development of the system phase. This is where you take a business that essentially has no documented systems and procedures, and maybe that's your business today. Maybe you have a few, or maybe you have a complete binder of systems that have become obsolete. Either way, the first step is the development or the initial development of those systems and procedures. Now, let me say this. A lot of people think of developing systems as if it were a project, as if it was, okay, well, let's just get this done and then we'll get back to work as usual. Well, I've got good news and bad news for you. The good news and the bad news is the same thing, that this isn't a project. This becomes a way of life. This systems development cycle is all about creating an environment where your systems become the resource for you to continue to improve your business from here on out. So the first step in the process is the initial development or documentation of your systems. Phase two is the periodic evaluation of those systems. There may be some systems that are vitally important to your organization that you're going to review on a regular basis to make sure they're truly working the best that they can work. There might be some systems you're going to look at every month. There may be some systems that will be quarterly, but every system in your business will probably go through an evaluation of its quality and performance at least once a year. This is one way to make sure that your systems never become obsolete, and this is one way to make sure that we're always engaging in the process of looking for ways to improve the organization. And this is simply applying the principle of knowing what's true. We're no longer guessing as to whether or not the system is working. We actually go through a step-by-step methodology to evaluate that system. Now, once we've evaluated the system, we may come to a couple different conclusions. We may come to the conclusion that the system is working as well as we can expect with the resources and information that we have available to us, and decide to do nothing else other than just to let that system keep working the way it is. Or we could conclude that that system could truly be innovated or improved, which is step three in the process, which is improving performance or innovating the system. This is where we take a documented system and we go through it in a systematic way. If you believe me or not, we actually have a system on how to innovate and improve your systems, which we'll be introducing to you in the future. But you'll take your system and you'll go through this process where you actually innovate the system and then re-implement it, go back to step one document the system, and re-implement that system into your business. And this cycle continues on from here on out. So if we want to improve our business, we're going to improve our systems. So the principle of creating replication is about installing that cycle into your business. It's not just about going through the process of documenting your systems. It's about making sure, yes, your systems are documented. They're good quality systems, that the people are responsible for knowing how to document the systems are well trained, that you've got a good template in place on how your systems are to develop, that people know where to find their systems, that people are trained appropriately on those systems, and that there's a level of accountability assigned to the people that are responsible for documenting those systems. Those are all very, very relevant processes. But ultimately, it's about developing and installing the system development cycle. So that's what the system of creating, or the principle of creating replication, is all about. This has been Eden Sunshine. Thanks for joining me in this series on implementing level 7 in your business.